Hey guys, this is Rubik, and we're going to do another StarCraft cast today between VolatilePie and Ender. This is the map Ohana, and here we have VolatilePie, our red Terran player, up in the top left corner. And in the bottom right corner we have Ender, our blue Zerg player. Now I'm a Protoss player, and I don't have very much experience with Terran versus Zerg from either perspective. I play random, sometimes in team games, so I don't have much experience, but I'll do my best. Looks pretty standard from both players so far. VolatilePie is a friend of mine. We used to go to college together, and he sent me a couple of his games for me to cast. So we'll see how interesting this game is. I believe this is a platinum level game. VolatilePie is definitely platinum level. Looks like we're going to be having a 15 hatch from the Zerg player, which is pretty standard. He puts his hatcheries on different hotkeys, which is a little odd. Nothing wrong with that, but Apollo puts his hatcheries on different hotkeys. So we're going to have a scout from our Terran player. And got a pool going down from the Zerg. With this map, I feel like the third is very important when you're playing against a Zerg, because if a Zerg can just continually deny your third, you can lose the game pretty easily. But I feel like this third is not that hard to hold. You do have these destructible rocks in between your natural and your third that you have to contend with, but that doesn't seem like too big of a deal. It lets the Zerg get his third really fast if he wants to, and just break down the rocks later, rather than on a map like Tal'Darim Altar, which it used to have rocks.
Our SCVs are under attack.
VolatilePie scattered pretty much everything, but looks like we've got a 1-rack fast expand from a Terran player, and got a bunker coming up, and he has 2 gases so far. A little trick: if you are curious how long your opponent has had their gas, just click on it, and you can look at the remaining minerals and see that he's mined about 100 minerals from each of these. So, and got a factory going down and a reactor, so it looks like we're gonna have reactored Hellions, which is pretty standard, pretty darn standard in this matchup. It would be weird to not see them, in my opinion. Got some creep spread going on, and it looks like I said, I don't know much about Terran versus Zerg, but I do know that it's pretty common to go for Queen, especially since the Queen buff, the range attack, or the range of the Queen's attack was increased to 5, which gives it more sustained DPS against Hellions, and, well, every ground unit, but it was buffed so that it would do more sustained DPS against Hellions, because I guess Zergs were having a bit of a problem with Hellions, so they gave it a buff. So Zergs like to open 4 queens, where they've got a queen at each hatchery, and then they've got 2 queens for group spreading and for blocking off the ramp, and blocking Hellions from running by. And it looks like the Zerg is going for a faster third, and obviously VolatilePie has scattered this out. And we do have a pretty big worker lead from the Zerg player. Let's see.
The Hive cluster is under attack.
Looks like VolatilePie is going to be going for Cloak Banshees, but I guess perhaps this Zerg has some game sense and put down a couple of Spore Crawlers. This build, my friend told me that this build that he's doing, which is Hellion Cloak Banshee, is pretty common build. I think MVP did it in, it was either WCS or MLG. I'm pretty sure it was MLG. I'm pretty sure he did an MLG. So perhaps it's just the meta of the Terran versus Zerg currently that he drops these Spore Crawlers pretty blindly. But at this point, he definitely knows that there's a Cloak Banshee in his base. So Cloak Banshee Hellion is kind of an interesting combination, because it really stresses the multitasking of the Zerg. And it forces them to make a lot of static defense. I don't like to call Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers static defense, because they're not. Oh, he needs to cloak. They're not really static defense, but. So as you can see, this has forced a lot of lings and a lot of larvae to be used not on drones. So that's allowed our Terran player to catch up in SCVs, and if you'll remember that mules are worth 4 workers each, so even though it looks like the workers are even, our Terran player is actually income-wise 8 workers ahead, as you can see. And this has allowed our Terran player to get up his 3rd base, but looks like we've got a Ling attack coming. Got about 25 seconds to finish this planetary fortress, but so unfortunately he won't be able to finish that. His cancel lifted, but that's unfortunate. But looks like we don't have blue flame on these Hellions, so we do have blue flame researching, so these Hellions will eventually be able to do a lot more damage to these Zerglings. Let's check out the workers, and as you can see, the Zerg just keeps making lings, and this has caused the Terran player to actually take a lead in workers, and unfortunately it looks like this Zerg player isn't keeping up very well on his injects, but he does have infestors coming out, so and he's timed this pretty well with pathogen glands being finished before the infestors pop, so they will come out with an extra 25 energy. So, for the lag. The upgrades for our Terran player are one, vehicle plating, and he told me that vehicle plating is important against Zerg, especially when they're going heavy Zergling. So, because Zerglings do only, 5 damage without an upgrade, but 6 damage with an upgrade, so the more, the smaller and faster attacks are, the more advantageous it is to get armor over attack. So, that's why he favored going armor over attack in this situation. Got a Hellion run better here. Now, Blue Flame increases the damage versus light, and drones, SUVs, and probes are not light units, so Blue Flame does not help with killing workers, so it only helps with killing light units like the Zergling. Looks like Terran players going for a heavy mech style, and as we can see from our Zerg perspective over here, we've got Macro coming down. He does have a lot of money, and he has some larvae that he could spend. Maybe he's saving for a reason, but let's see. He does have Hive coming in, and oh, what a good scan! 3 seconds before he actually sees Hive finish, so he's able to determine how he's going to go from there. And let's see if he saw that Spire. He did see the Spire, so it's very likely that the Zerg player is going to go Greater Spire. So that means that being able to scout that allows him to understand that he needs another starport so that he can produce Vikings quickly enough so that he can beat the Corruptors and the Broodlords that are going to be sieging his army, or sieging his bases. And actually looks like the Zerg player over here has not scouted the 4th base yet, but he picks off an Infestor, which is good. Anytime you can pick off Infestors is really good, because Infestors just wreck pretty much every single composition that the Terran can make, especially since they have infested Terrans, which are really good. You can lob infested Terrans at sieged tanks and abuse the friendly fire, so that the tanks will fire at the infested Terrans and damage other tanks. So looks like our Zerg player is going for Adrenal Glands and 3/3 on his melee units, which puts our Terran player behind. It's going to be behind about 4 upgrades. So we've got 5 Broodlords coming in. He's also got an Ultralisk Cavern down, which will allow him to tech switch out of Broodlords after he's traded his armies, so that the Terran player won't have a very good counter to Ultralisks, unless he scouts the fact that he's going Ultralisks. So, because Marauders counter Ultralisks, so if he tech switches, he'll be left, and he doesn't make enough Marauders, then the Terran loses the next fight. So now this base has been up much longer for our Terran player than for our Zerg player. And look at this, 84 workers for the Terran player to 61 workers for the Zerg player. Zerg really needs a huge economy in order to contend with, looks like we've got a Mist Mule. to contend with the cost efficiency of the Terran and Protoss armies, because they need to get up a big bank so that they can remax, like I was talking about earlier, so that they can remax on whether it be Lings or just Ultralisks or whatever it is. They need to remax because the Terran produces its units all out of production facilities, so it takes a little longer for Terran to remax. Got a huge engagement here. Bungle's going down. Blue Flame Hellions are wrecking these Lings, and he unsieges his tanks so that the friendly fire doesn't damage his Thors and his other tanks. And unfortunately, Thors are just not that great at killing Broodlords. Terran really needs some Vikings. He's adding on another starport so that he can produce Vikings more quickly, but he's producing 4 at a time right now, and this is exactly what we want from the Zerg player. We want tech switch into Ultralisks. Thors do take a long time to kill, but they do bonus damage against light, and Broodlords are armored, so they don't do very well against Broodlords. Got a little run by over here. Now, our Terran's economy is much better than our the Zerg economy is much worse than our Terran. So, as you can see, if he does another attack and has to remax again, he doesn't have a big enough bank, while our Terran has so much production, can produce so many units at once, that it's just crazy. Now he's maxed right now, so this attack could do a lot of damage. Now, remember that the upgrades are in favor of our Zerg player, and these Broodlords are just wailing on this planetary fortress, but he has repairs, so this is doing nothing. Neural Parasite going down, but you can just pick off these infestors with the Neural Parasite, and looks like he is going to be able to take out all of these Ultralisks, and we've just got these Vikings wailing on these Broodlords. Looks like he's going to be remaxing on Lings, but we've got more Hellions in production, so this is not going to look good for the Zerg. Got currently a 4th base, but because he lost his other 4th base coming up over here, looks like he's done no mining at all from this, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases from the Terran player, and twice as many workers, so not going to be able to, dropping some mules for repair, but doesn't get it in time. He's not going to be able to, the Zerg is just not going to be able to remax over and over and over again, because he doesn't have the economy, because the Terran has been taking out his bases. Without an economy, you can't remax. He needs to do a scan. He can pick off these investors. That's alright though. We do have a Viking flock of Vikings here, scouting out this base, picking off an Overlord, but the Terran player is still macroing. 26 minutes and his money is pretty low. That's pretty impressive. And currently he's on a mainly Ling army, and it's just, he's not going to be able to the Zerg is not going to be able to beat this army with just Lings. I mean, Lings are really good against Thors, but, oh, looks like our winner is VolatilePie. I was going to say GG, but no GG, I guess. Just the Terran player really outplayed the Zerg, kept his initial Hellions and Banshees allowed him to catch up economically, since the Zerg can produce so many drones at once, and that allowed him to get an economic advantage and pull ahead in this game. And well, he won through economy. Zerg did some nice tech switches, but it wasn't enough, even though the Terran was a little behind in upgrades. So, great game. Congratulations, VolatilePie. Thanks for watching.